The 2011 TUNZA International Children and Youth Conference ended with the formulation of a historic declaration that the young people shall lobby to the world leaders at next year's Rio Plus 20 conference. Named after its host city in Indonesia, the Bandung Declaration sums up carefully crafted demands of the young people of this earth, who were represented in this process by 1,400 participants from over 126 countries.
Actually, it's been a huge team of youth here working these past few days. As you've heard, the Bandung Declaration is a very serious declaration. It's a political statement. And personally, we believe it does not take a no for an answer, so it's not a question. It's aimed at the Rio Plus 20 event because after what we've seen in the 1992 Earth Summit, we believe some promises haven't been kept and some expectations haven't been met yet.
It was an eventful 5 days filled with much debate, hard questions, and long hours of discussions.
Section 7. The main thing that we will not demand anything from our governments, but try to persuade them with the help of our activities.
No change has to be done in this paragraph because this is a matter of something the political people promised to us. We cannot change a promise about something, about promises that anyone else did for us. So we suggest that it should remain exactly as it was.
STEM means to stop completely, and mitigate means to reduce. And so we don't think that environmental degradation should just be reduced, it should be stopped completely.
We cannot stop climate change. We may combat, we may slow down, we may speed up climate change. So I want to change the word stopped to combat.
UNEP's Executive Director, Mr. Achim Steiner, who earlier attended the opening ceremony, had this to say.
And part of that is that we cannot invent the world from top down. Governments are extremely important, but at the end of the day, governments are made up by the people of each nation. And it is the people who change what happens in government, in the economy, in our society. And it is you, whether you are 10 years old, whether you are 15 years old, or whether you are 20 years old, you have an enormous power to change things.
These are 5 of the declarations that the Children Declaration chose to present at Rio Plus 20. Firstly, lobbying our governments to make Rio Plus 20 Earth Summit a top priority. We want to encourage the government to participate in this. Secondly, every region, country, and community will have its own green economy and use the existing international institution to support it. Thirdly, we call upon business leaders to take up environmental issues as part of their corporate social responsibility. Fourthly, we want our government to include us in this decision-making process. Fifth, and finally, we are urging our government to work towards a sustainable development through a green economy transition.
Topping the agenda was the issue of the green economy.
About is green economy possible? What I'd say is this economy possible? And I'd say no. I mean, many of you have children. Do you want your children to live in a world where there is no drinking water? In a world where they can't actually breathe air? Or where there's like 3 animals because the rest are extinct? Green economy is not just a possibility, it's the only sustainable possibility and the only responsible possibility.
If all else were to fail, Sebastian thinks they still have one more secret weapon.
And children have a very powerful tool. They're cute. So when a child looks at you and says, "Mommy, why are we using so much paper?" I think nobody can actually beat that, you know. Yes. But for the children that are between 10 and 14, well, some of the most brilliant people I've met in these past few days have been 12. I mean, they've done things like raise snails so that poor towns could develop better by selling them. They've reforested and planted trees. And when a child and a young person plants a tree, then you as an adult feel the responsibility to do so as well. So they actually motivate us a lot more.
Evening, everybody. This is the Bandung Declaration. the voice of children and youth for Rio 20. We, the delegates of 2011 TUNZA International Children and Youth Conference, representing 126 different countries, are united in calling upon world leaders to move to a sustainable development pathway that safeguards the earth and its people for our generation and generations to come. We urge governments to respond to and not ignore the demands of the children and youth.
This is our declaration to fight for environmental justice, not only for us, but for all generations to come. Thank you.
Just as leaders officially opened the conference by playing the angklung, a traditional instrument made of bamboo, the conference closed with all the participants playing the same. With each participant handed a single angklung carrying only one musical note. This closing activity simulated how 1,400 young voices came together over a week and overcame language and cultural differences to fight for a common cause. The harmony you hear is the sound of the Bandung Declaration speaking in one voice.